What's going on, guys? The brother at the movies is back, and we sneaking into another film. And when I say sneak, I mean that responsibly. Let's talk about it. Knock at the Cabin. Okay, let's discuss this film. So, Knock at the Cabin is a 2023 American apocalyptic psychological horror film written and produced by a guy who's got some hits and some misses. That's M. Night Shyamalan. So, M. Night Shyamalan, if you are wondering, he's the director who's made movies like Signs, Unbreakable, and the great movie The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis. Here we have, again, Knock at the Cabin. Let's talk about this. So this movie, I wanted to see it, but it kind of got away from me. I heard about, don't check out the trailers. And yeah, there's some truth to that. I like to not see too many trailers these days anyway, because trailers give away a lot. They really do. Here in this film, we got Dave Batista, Jonathan Groff, Ben Aldrich, Nikki Amilcaberg, Kristen Cui, Abby Quinn, and Rupert Grant taking place. Those are the characters in this film. Dave Bautista and Kristen Huey probably had the most screen time, in my opinion. So what's this about? A family is vacationing at a remote cabin. It's Kristen, which is played, Kristen is playing a character named Wynn. She's a 7-year-old girl, and, her being outside, enjoying life is innocent to a kid that young. It always mostly is. Jubilant young girl attempting to catch grasshoppers comes across the big, humongous Dave Bautista. Now, I forget what character he played, but Dave pretty much stole the show here. Delicate man, but huge, again, humongous guy. And it's four strangers that come into this kid's life, Win, and a couple that she stays with. So she's adopted, I believe. It's a same-sex couple, and they just come off as a loving family, but they end up in a situation where they get forcibly abducted by people who say that the apocalypse is coming. So with that, it kind of gives us a pickle of sorts. Like, do they trust them? Do the same-sex couple played by Eric and Andrew? That's their names in the movie. Eric and Andrew and their daughter Wynn. Do they trust them? Do they attempt to put up a fight? What do they do? And these apocalyptic strangers, just began to bring so much doubt and trouble into their lives, put them under stressful situations. We have what I'm not going to say the S word, so the self-demise rituals take place in this film, where it's a whole lot of that going on. People sacrificing themselves, if you get my drift. This movie is really interesting because the tension is high. You're always wondering what's going to happen. Like, well, okay, what are these strangers going to do next? When are Eric, Andrew, and Wynn, are they going to try to break away here? Do they even believe this story? Me, as someone viewing this, I was kind of like, am I supposed to believe this? I know it's based on a book. I thought the idea for the movie seemed far-fetched, which for me, since it seemed like so far-fetched of an idea, I really can't say this movie did too much for me. Again, I know it's based on a book. I know it's the apocalyptic thing, the Four Horsemen. But I just don't know if the dots connect. Then they kept trying to, every time somebody would sacrifice themselves, someone would cut the TV on and you would see natural disasters. And it just seemed so unbelievable for me, the concept. So it was hard to take in, but I was still drawn in by the tension of what was happening next. And there was a point where, one of the same-sex couple, I don't know, one of the guys, I don't know if it was Eric or Andrew, they was able to get to the car, able to get to their pistol, was able to kind of rectify and kind of, even the odds a little bit, but even still, not so much. I personally thought that this movie wasn't as executed as it should have been. The concept for me was kind of lean, but I get what they was going for. I mean, I kind of do. Maybe I should have possibly read the book. I don't know, but, ultimately this film for me, just maybe not the best of films by M. Night Shyamalan. I mean, it was great with the tension. Okay, we'll say that. It was great. with the characters that it put before us, especially if you want to call them villains. I do tend to think that the plot itself has some holes. It was more character stories that I wish would have been flushed out. The action, it was okay. The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse thing, again, just kind of took me aback a little bit. And, this is, for me, it's a one timer. It's a one timer, and I got to give this mofo movie, I give it one thumbs up. Yeah, I give this movie one thumbs up, but definitely not two. We can't do two thumbs up for this movie. But it's interesting though. Again, don't watch the trailer if you've seen this movie at all, because that gives away a lot. But it keeps you engaged. This whole film literally just takes place inside of a cabin. Again, Dave Batista knocked this out the park. The same-sex couple in this movie, they did really good. I mean, you don't see them. You would never know they was in a relationship unless it was told to you. Like Wynn kind of spilled the beans to Dave Bautista's character that they were, her parents were two dads. Because otherwise, you don't see any real affection. You don't see no affection between them. So, they played great, but you just didn't see any affection. That's fine too. I mean, I'm not sitting here clamoring for, for them to do whatever they, but they didn't even engage or didn't no kiss or nothing like that. So it's like, okay, they are together, but it's not really portrayed, but it is, shown for you to feel, you do get the gist, like, okay, these two are in this same sex relationship, so yeah, there's that. But yeah, ultimately, get this thing one thumbs up. Dave Bautista rocked it. The girl that played Wynn, Kristen Cui, she did really good. I think maybe in her first role. This movie, 100 minutes runtime. The budget for it was $20 million. At the box office, it took in 54.8 million. And that's about it, folks. I mean, again, if you didn't catch it the first time, this for me is a one-time watcher. Would I suggest you watch it as we get up out of here? Yeah, I say watch it one time, because you might find something in this movie that I didn't. You might find some redeeming qualities about it. But for me, it was just good enough for that one time watch. Anyway, brother at the movies, and we finna sneak up out of here, guys. And y'all make sure y'all catch me on the next one as we keep going up and getting better and better at this movie review thing, and being consistent with it is the goal. So with that, I'm out of here.